Hello, and welcome to Wolong Final Dynasty, the demo for PS4. I have a lot to say, so let's get it out of the way. First things first. One, why am I playing this? Because it is the spiritual successor to Nioh. Nioh 2, I bought pretty much release week, despite my best judgment, and I ended up playing that for the better part of an entire year, and I ended up really enjoying it. Nioh 2 is now one of my favorite games I've ever played, and that is flying completely in the face of my history with Souls clones, which Nioh 2 is. I have to say this every single time I play one of these games, but I absolutely despise Souls clones games. I don't like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. I've never played Sekiro, but I'm playing through Elden Ring now, and they so deeply upset me. These games are defined by their death and resource mechanics, and I hate the way they're designed, because they're designed, and the developers have said explicitly as much, even the developers of Nioh have said explicitly as much, that the purpose is explicitly to frustrate the player, to waste their time, to make it a masochistic experience to get through the game. The creators of Nioh literally dub the genre masocore. Hardcore, masochistic gameplay. So, take that for what it's worth, that I ended up platinuming Nioh 2, all missions, all difficulty levels. That's like 5 whole playthroughs of that game. I've done virtually all there is to do in that game. And I really enjoy that game. But I really hate the Souls games, and I hate the games that borrow from the Souls series. If I had one singular major complaint about Nioh, it is that they borrow from Dark Souls. They are just Japanese Dark Souls, which, to be honest, is kind of a slap in the face to Nioh, because Nioh is so much more than that. It could be so much more. It could be its own thing, is my problem. That at no point did it ever need to have the Dark Souls mechanics. It could still be a ball-crushing, hard, challenging, fun, awesome game without the Dark Souls mechanics in it. As far as I'm aware, Wolong was going to operate along the same principle, and I really hope it doesn't. But I have no reason to believe it's not. Because it's taking after Nioh, and Nioh takes after Dark Souls. But anyway, why do I like Nioh and not the Dark Souls games? Nioh doesn't even do a lot of the stuff that made the Dark Souls games popular. It's not an open world game. There isn't a whole lot of, like, organic lore to develop or anything like that. It isn't mysterious. There isn't a big focus on exploration. These things are all true. These things are all true. But I'll tell you what it does do. It has a fucking awesome gameplay loop. It has a third-person action RPG combat that feels great to play. It is some of the best kinesthetics in any game you could possibly play in like a third-person action hack and slash type of game. The depth of combat in Nioh is ridiculous. You've got like a dozen different weapon types. Every weapon type has 3 different stances. Each of those stances correlate to a variety of different skills that you can combo and chain into each other. You got a breadth of items that you have very quick, easy access to as compared to Elden Ring, as compared to Dark Souls. The button economy is great. The responsiveness is great. It's not just... the game doesn't even just punish you for just being a heavy fat fuck rolling around everywhere. If you wear heavier armor, you're going to be more durable. But not only do you get the fat roll, but the fat roll in that game gives you more invincibility frames. So other than just damage reduction, you're also trading, like, speed, the responsiveness of, like, your dodges and stuff, with the distance that you can dodge, the speed at which you can dodge that distance, with, you know, abusing invincibility frames, just being a fat guy, dodging through all the sword swings and stuff like that. Stuff like that is really cool. And not only that, the customization in that game is so much better. The character creator is better than every other Souls game I've ever played. Your character looks way cooler in Nioh. Your abilities are way cooler than in Dark Souls, any of the Dark Souls games. You actually have weapon skill, more than one weapon skill, which you don't just turn off by virtue of having a shield out. You can actually have combos. You can actually have complex combat. I'm 40 hours. I am 40 hours into Elden Ring at this point. And you know what my approach to combat is? It's holding up my shield, running up with the spear, and doing pokes. Just poking the bosses until they die. And then maybe I dodge, and I have to heal, but then I run forward, I hold up my shield, and I keep poking them. That is the extent of combat in Elden Ring for me right now. 40 hours into the game, that is the entire depth of combat outside of summoning some other fucker to aggro and do stuff that I can't do. Right? I can do so much in Nioh. So much more in Nioh. The combat is so much faster, more responsive, more complex. There's so much more I can do and play around with in combat. It's so much more exciting and fun to play. I want to go into these games and I want to feel powerful. Obviously, these games are meant to fucking crush your nuts. But you want to feel, like, successful beating, like, the bosses and stuff, right? Well, I don't get that just by sidestepping all of their attacks and just shoving a sword up their ass, right? And you really can't say that that's what Nioh devolves into. I am so far deep into the Nioh rabbit hole at this point, and you cannot say that is, like, the breadth of any boss fight in that game. You really can't. Even against the regular enemies, it's really not a matter of you target them, you sidestep past their attacks, you shove a sword up their ass. That's not how it works. It's deep, there's lots of customization, there's a huge Diablo-esque loot system to the game. So yeah, sure, yes, it's mission-based, no, it's not open world, yada yada yada, but it's still fun. There's a core gameplay loop that's excellent. There's great sandbox-style combat, huge level of customization, and you get rewarded. I'm running around Elden Ring, looking in corners, exploring all this shit, looking for, like, something to, like, reward my time, my investment, right? You'll be lucky if you find a crafting material, which you won't fucking use at all. All the crafting materials I might as well just sell for the all of 10 fucking runes it gives me in exchange. And I need, what, like 40,000 to level up right now in the game? Or 60,000, something like that? Some insane number? There comes a point where it's not even worth picking up crafting ingredients anymore. If there ever was a point in picking up crafting ingredients, I found maybe a couple items that have any actual tangible use, as compared to running up, holding up my shield, and poking them with the spear. Right? No. FromSoft needs to fuck off out of this genre, go back to making Tenchu games, go back to making Armored Core. You had 2 game series that you were actually reasonably successful at. They were niche, they didn't have mass appeal like Dark Souls somehow managed to get, because you managed to attract the attention of complete douchebags on the internet. No, you had some cool franchises under your belt that you actually managed to do some really neat stuff with. I wish you would go back. I would love for there to actually be a new Tenchu game. I would love to be able to find my dream mech simulation game in an Armored Core title. That would be super cool, but no. For like the last goddamn decade, FromSoft cannot take its dick out of this stupid genre it's invented, and I'm so sick of it. And it's even more disappointing that such talents as people like Motoi Sakuraba have their names tied to this, when Motoi Sakuraba was fucking awesome before he completely changed his musical style for this series of games. I don't give a shit about the fucking Dark Souls soundtracks. I gave a shit about Motoi Sakuraba's JRPG soundtracks. Guess what got re-released recently? Valkyrie Profile? Guess who fucking composed that game? And there's awesome music in it. Motoi Sakuraba. But it's a completely different style of music. Basically, all of the things that people praise the Dark Souls games for, I don't give a shit about. I've had better open world experiences. Like, about the only thing that the Souls games do that other games really can't be credited for doing, in my experience, is that there's actually a decent chance that you can get almost any boss weapon or any boss armor. If a weapon, if you find a boss and they're wearing such and such armor, or they're wielding such and such weapon, there's a pretty good chance you're able to get either of those things by beating them, or looting their castle, or whatever the hell. That's really cool. I wish there was more of that. There's actually a bunch of pretty uniquely designed enemies in the Souls games. I can't really say that for Skyrim. Skyrim is a whole bunch of very generic fantasy enemies that they, shift around and give Diablo-esque names because they have, it's a frost draugr or whatever the fuck, right? Who cares? But if that's the only thing that is going in Dark Souls' favor, and Dark Souls is actively fucking harming itself and the entire genre by being this genre defined by these horrible death, resource loss, permanent loss mechanics, it just sounds like a completely inferior version of a roguelike. It's the bastard, inbred child dumpster baby of the roguelike genre. I would rather play a roguelike game than any Souls game. With, so far, the only exception being Nioh, and that's because Nioh has so much more going for it. Nioh cannot simply be just a Japanese samurai version of Dark Souls, because it's so much more than that. There's so much more depth to combat. There are many, I could not name all of them off the top of my head, so many systems and subsystems designed to tailor your character in just such a way. It's not you in the stupid Dark Souls hub trying to decide which of only 2 rings you should equip. It's not that kind of game, and I don't want to play that kind of game, which is why I'm playing Wolong Fallen Dynasty today, and I'm not playing Elden Ring. Wolong Fallen... The creator... This is Team Ninja. It's not From Software. Fuck From Software. From Software needs to put out goddamn Armored Core 6 already and shut the fuck up. Team Ninja, on the other hand, these are the guys who predated even Demon Souls putting out shit like the 3D Ninja Gaiden games. These guys have a history of making hard as fuck, but also rule of cool, satisfying as sin type of, third-person action games, right? They know where it's at. Not that they've always been successful at it, not that their games can't also be insanely frustrating, but they have a history in this stuff already. They have a track record in this category of making some hardcore action games where you play some really cool guy and the odds are way stacked against you. And so they made Nioh. And then they made Nioh 2, which was just Nioh, but way, way, way better. And now they've since said that they're not going to make a Nioh 3. They've made Nioh. They covered the story they wanted to tell in the Sengoku era of feudal Japan. And that's it. But, as it turns out, for almost 4 years now, they've also been simultaneously developing this game, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which appears to be a Chinese Three Kingdoms era version of the same type of game. So, what I'm coming into this game expecting is A, it's going to be way better than any Souls game I've ever fucking played. Like, actual From Software games, because fuck From Software at this point. Very frustrated with their design decisions. And 2, I'm a bit skeptical. And this is going to go more to being directly critical of Wolong. And there's a few reasons for that. One is that, and I haven't spoiled myself. I haven't watched any gameplay. I've seen like a couple minute long trailers of this game. But basically, my understanding is that they're significantly changing like the equipment and or loot system, and they're getting rid of stances entirely. That's not to say that there aren't new systems in place. I've read that there are. But I thought stances were such a really cool way of just kind of not just, expanding on how all the different ways you could fight with a spear. How laughable is it that I'm going around only, like, stabbing at people in Elden Ring, but there's so much different cool shit, different stances you can wield spears in, different ways you can attack with the spear in fucking Nioh, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. There's no comparison whatsoever. Completely puts it to shame. It's like, this is a fucking child with brain damage from Software. And then you have Team Ninja right next to them, who's like a 3-time gold medalist Olympic triathlete. Like, what the fuck? There's no comparison. It's such a fucking slam dunk against the Souls games. And I expect as much with this game. But as I said, I'm going to be holding this not just to the standard of Souls games. I'm going to be holding this up to the standards of Nioh 2. And so, to that end, I do want really fast, really satisfying combat. I want there to be a depth to it comparable to what Nioh offered. And I want there to be at least like 3/4 as much customization. At least that much. Because there was a lot of cool shit you could do with Nioh. There was a lot of different ways you could take your character. And, man, my biggest my main qualms, other than those possible mechanical changes, and again, I think the stance thing is important. Being able to change stances with your different weapons was actually a big selling point to me when it came to the Nioh games. That they're not going to have that in this game is honestly disappointing. But again, I don't know what they've replaced it with. Might be something fresh and cool, and I was like, why didn't they have this shit in Nioh? I don't know, maybe. But the main thing I'm also kind of questioning at this point is the aesthetic. Now, obviously, these are coming from Japanese developers, so you know, their familiarity will necessarily be, you know, Japanese mythology and stuff. This time, we're going to be diving into Chinese mythology. But there's a bit of a caveat to come with that, because they seem to still want to make this same style of, like, grimdark game. Like, they made Nioh a grimdark game, which worked, because, you know, the Souls games were grimdark games, which also worked. But I don't know if that's really going to work in this case, because this mythology, this folklore, and how this stuff is conventionally presented is in no way grimdark. It's often very colorful. Like, the wuxia genre, which I believe this game is going to tap into heavily, is some of the farthest you can get to the grimdark genre of any kind of, like, movie or film or, you know, story setting. Wuxia is very colorful. There's a lot of positivity, a lot of, like, the violence and bloodshed that's talked about, and that like backdrops a lot of stories that you hear about that take place in this period. It's colored over. It's kind of obfuscated, like the horrors of war, to more fixate on, like, oh, the heroes. The heroes that did this, or the you know, the romances that took place between this person and that person. It's often very colorful, very positive, very uplifting. And I'm seeing, like, promotional material for this game showing dragons that look like some, like, wretched abomination type shit. These don't look like the dragons I'm expecting to see in, like, a game based around, you know, Chinese folklore, to be perfectly honest. So I'm kind of questioning that. I'm also kind of questioning the disparate intensity of the main menu music here. It was much more peaceful to start off with in Nioh, which I definitely prefer, especially since I intended on talking over this the entire time. As it happens, though, I've actually seen a lot of Hong Kong action movies, which I imagine this game will borrow quite a bit from. That said, wuxia, the wuxia genre itself, and again, I could be mispronouncing this terribly. I can actually pronounce pretty much all Japanese names, but pronouncing Chinese names is going to be a problem for me. So we have the Chinese dub on, which is nice that they provide that as an option. So, in addition to having difficulty kind of pronouncing some of the names here, I'm just not big on the aesthetic. And the wuxia genre itself, those are some of the worst Hong Kong action movies I've honestly seen. Some of the most popular of these are the ones that make the most money overseas and stuff like that. Hero was a big one of these movies. It was a House, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was one of these movies. The House of Flying Daggers was one of these movies. All of those movies were atrocious. I really didn't like those movies, but those are the ones that made it overseas, made a lot of money. Those were the Spirited Away of those movies. Pardon me. So, you know, I'm worried that we're going to delve too deep into that. You know, we're going to have characters with, like, weapons and armor that I think is just not going to be quite as cool as, like, a katana or, you know, a kusarigama or stuff like that, right? Like, if players are fighting with, like, scimitars, I'm not so jazzed about that. Also, I mean, to be perfectly honest, a lot of the samurai armor in Nioh looks fucking ridiculous, but they're also trying to be historical about it. That's not to say you can't make a cool-looking character, though. So, again, I'm open-minded. I'm very critical of the fact that I believe this is a Souls game, or a Souls-like game, and I am absolutely going to despise that, and consequently, I have to hold it to the high standards that I have set for Nioh 2, and it's got to at least come up to about that level for me to really want to stick with this game. And that's about all I have to say. Full disclosure, I am incredibly sleep deprived. I am operating on caffeine right now, which I should not be. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. And after all my ranting, which I just spent 25 minutes of your time doing, we are now going to go into the character creator, and I'm going to take as long as I have to with that. But before that, let's check out the systems menu. Okay, game settings. Show head equipment, yeah. Show spurt of blood on player character, yeah. There's an inheritable option for that in Nioh. Show damage, yeah. Show allies damage, okay. Show HP restoration, yeah. Show HP in numerals. Spirit in numerals. Show sense key map. I don't know what that's about. Show HUD, hide when appropriate. Maximum effect icons on display. We'll put the maximum. Show current coppers during mission. I assume coppers is our gold. We'll do the numerals for now. We can show that. Locked on targets effect icons, yeah. Lock on marker, yeah. Locked on target focus. Automatically switch locked on target spawn defeating target, yes please. Locking on when no target present resets the camera. I don't know what that means. Guarding resets the camera. I think I've done that. Maybe? We'll just leave it to the default for now. Automatically lock onto an enemy when melee attacking. Oh, they did not have that in Nioh. Camera, player, action, animation, damage taken animation, divine beast animation, kind of like guardian spirits. Subtitles, yes. Show speaker names of subtitles, yes. Skip played cutscenes, sure. Okay, menu settings. This all looks fine. Item obtain notification, yes please. In-game notification, durations. A lot of this looks very similar to the Nioh's menu settings, which is great because they give you a lot of options. Very much appreciate that. Confirmation after strengthening. Equipment confirmation after strengthening. Confirmation of sale by rarity. Okay, so rarity goes at least up to 4 stars. Which I believe is a clean analog to Nioh 2. Because in Nioh 2, I believe the 4th highest rarity is exotic. And I believe that's the highest you can go with settings like this. Confirmation after embedding. Don't know what that is. Customization. Substitute the same name items when battle set cannot be replicated. No idea what that's about. Graphic settings. Motion blur. We'll turn that off. Audio settings. I turned this down a little bit. Camera settings. Speed seems to be kind of low, but we'll see how it feels when we're in the game. Automatic obstacle avoidance. We'll see how that works. Yeah. Control settings. Okay. We can't directly map the controls. That's unfortunate, but what we got here? Okay. So, square is normal attack. Triangle is spirit attack. Circle is dodge deflect. So, that's different from Nioh. X was dodge by default. And it was also sprint. But it looks like they've split sprint off to L3. And now dodge is circle, kind of like Kingdom Hearts. So there's a designated jump button for X. I'm not seeing anything that indicates what an interact button is, but I'm going to assume they're rational. and that interact is also just X. I know Elden Ring had some fucking problems figuring that shit out. Shift 2, Shift 1 check, aim ranged weapon, guard. Guard is the same. Use item, switch item. I don't know what that's about. I don't like what they're showing me for the D-pad there. That's a little bit concerning. Online settings. No restriction. Only the same area. Invasions by hostile players. I'm going to put do not allow. Show identification on the player's heads. Show gauges above ally player's head. So just to be clear, this is the downloadable demo. And it specifically said, when I launched this, that this is an online-only demo. You have to be connected to the internet to play this demo. Which is not something I will at all approve of if that's in the base game. I'm going to guess they're doing this for some sort of demo purposes. I don't know why. But I'm assuming that that's just exclusive to the demo, because they certainly didn't need that in Nioh. So, big conditional fuck you right now if Wolong is online only. Fuck this game. Full stop. Anyway. Distinguish ally and enemy players by faction color. There's factions in this game. So co-op search results. Whatever. Language settings. Yes. So I put the text in English. Audio language is Chinese. Nice that we have that option. Don't know what this is about. So go back. New game. Here we go. Demo 2.01 is just the version that downloaded for me. If I do get this game, I am buying it physically. And if my physical single-player game is online only, I will be returning it. Didn't think I'd feel the need to say that, but it is a little bit concerning red flag at the beginning of a demo. Although, considering how many gigs this download was for this demo, I have a feeling that this is one of those shitty situations where they basically just download a gimped version of the full game, and that's to you, and that you basically are like paying $60-$70 to unlock the game you already have on your console. All right, anyway, let's just watch this.
古代帝王梦寐以求的仙道秘宝丹药。相传，秦始皇为了拥有长生不老之躯，也渴望得到此禁忌之药。然而，人们相信这种强大的丹药会给世间降下灾难。还曾经有人说，秦王之后的每一场战争和权力的暗斗，也必有着丹药在其中作祟。时过境迁，大汉也逐渐衰败，散发着丹药光芒的阴霾再次笼罩天下。
He's speaking a lot like
即将唤醒
Elixir is Amrita.
水于各地的龙。
兄长，眼下三弟势不可当，王天盛世指日可待呀！天下大吉！天下大吉！
The visuals look great so far. I've been stabbed. This is a very BioShock opening. This is the moment where it's like, it's a first-person game.
得您出手相助，大恩莫齿难忘。很高兴看见您伤势痊愈。
Putting the names in front of the subtitles is very distracting. Taoist in black. I'm gonna change that setting as soon as I can do so and remember to do so. They're just throwing names at me. Okay, character creator time. Base. Well, okay. Type 1. Okay. Nice outfit to start with. Type 2. Start off pretty well endowed, I must say. Okay. We will be a girl. Again. Appearance template. That is not... This does not look world appropriate at all. It's like them adding like some grab your idol like J-pop icon looking character in the Nioh 2 creator. This looks super like inappropriate. The hair, the eye patch, like the person's appearance. Now that looks like a Nioh 2 character. That's a bit more what I'm expecting to see in this game. A lot of diversity in this game. You're very short. Very short. Is this just the same thing with a different hairstyle? Oh. Let's just start with that. Personal pronouns? You're really doing that, are you? I don't care for that. You have a figure type 1 and a figure type 2, and then you have an entirely separate setting for pronouns. Just have male and female body type options. And then just go with that. Why? That's fucking dumb. Dance. Are we just deciding whether or not our feet are, like, turned in or turned out? It had a very different effect in Nioh. Skin color's fine for now. Face skin type. Okay. Body skin type. I'll stick with the default there. Face. Face shape. Presets. Not noticing a big difference with these. I think with this one, her face just looks slightly more balanced. What about that one? Forehead depth. We'll just stick with the defaults for these. Probably gonna undo the preset I just put in. Aging. Okay, it's about as old as you can make yourself look in the other game. Eyebrows. Matching sides, eyebrow type. Hmm. Of course, they got these for some reason. These aren't really eyebrows. Like some painted on shit. That too, I don't know what that's about. That's I had a lawnmower accident. I'll go with that for now. Big ol' eyebrows. Eye type. Go with that for now. Iris. These are about the same options we had before. Ooh, okay. Oh, this is a little bit different. Iris color. Edit. maximum white. $128. Get $128 on here. There we go. That works. Nose. I think that best. Oh, I see. I think I want to pull up the mouth a little bit. Mouth corners fat width. That's very oddly particular setting. Viltrum. Wow. Oh, yeah. Tweak that, huh? Do they let you change that in Dark Souls? Didn't think so. I'll just do normal ears. Ear angle. Can we tone that back a little bit? There we go. Base decoration. Oh, these are 100% pre-established assets from Nioh. A lot of the same exact assets. First obvious asset reuse, honestly. Got some new options. A lot of stuff to put on your forehead. A lot of options here. A lot of face paint options. Oh, look at that. Mascara tears. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, I'm gonna do what I did before. Which is, we're gonna do width 25. Height will be negative 100. Let's turn down the vertical position here. Shift it over to the eye. There we are. Alright, width, can we turn this down to 20? Okay. Two. Not too bad. Okay. Nice. Decoration 2. Be the same thing. Okay. I think the settings are just a little bit off. So 18, 25, negative 120. 18, 25, negative 120. That's just a little bit off. Oh, the rotation's too much. There we go. Not looking too bad. I don't have to fuss with some of that stuff. Okay, had that. Yeah. Interesting. I just have a talisman on me. Of course that. I don't know why they got the shitty, stupid looking glasses. That's an interesting choice. I'm not gonna go with it though. Ear accessory. And we got some jewelry. We will pass on all of that. Okay. I'm sorry, did you actually add no, I didn't want that. There we go. Okay. Hair time. See some good hair options. Okay. I wonder if it'll let me edit bangs. Okay. That is definitely not of the times, as far as I'm aware. Can I let me just check if I can edit bangs. It's not highlighting what I'm editing. It does let you change the length of different parts of the hair, which is cool. Okay. Alright, I'm not seeing like a separate bangs option so far, which is unfortunate. Okay. Hairstyles. Alright, so once again... Oh, I was missing some options. Okay. 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 I like that one. Awful. What is this? This is the Yusuke Urameshi. That's what that looks like to me. Did they just wholesale pull in? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. But will you let me add bangs? You will let me add bangs. We can bring Agony back. Hell yeah. Was that it? That might have been it. Something like that. Nah, that was it. That was those are the bangs. Hell yeah. There is a bangs option for certain hairstyles. Very cool. Very preach. Just let me bring my Nioh character directly into this game. Almost. So many bangs options. How come this wasn't appearing for like the other hairstyles? Maybe maybe it requires hair that like already doesn't have like bangs. Like maybe this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. I see. Nice. All right, we gotta go we gotta go the yokai hair. Where is it? There it is. All right. Oh, I can flip it. Interesting. Side. Huh? Oh, I can add whether or not I want some little link parcels next to my ears. I'll go without that. All right, hair color. Here we go. Yoop. We'll just do that for now. Colored tips. Yes. Tips area. Oh, I can determine the tips area, huh? We will do highlights. Yes. Okay, hair base color, I think we need to make a bit darker. Oh, okay. They definitely adjusted your freedom to edit some of this stuff a bit. I would say mostly for the better. Hair gradation. What is that about? I don't know what this does. Try. Let's just lighten this a little bit. There we go. It looks a little weird. I'm not sure if I've got this, like, inverted or what. Probably. 128, oh, yeah. Do that, and then let's make the colored tips. Let's make that darker. There we go. That's looking a bit more appropriate. And we can also taper off how much of that we want. Very cool. Nice! Looking like agony all over again. Awesome. Facial hair time. Not a lot of great options. Oh, but there are alternate mustaches. I'm disappointed by the mustache options. Mix and match beards. Alright, makeup. I'm not sure how much of this I did or feel like I even need. I do that and then turn down the opacity. Okay. You know, I think the eyes are looking pretty decent so far. Teeth blackening. This is still a thing. Oh, dear. Why? Oh, you just want to make the teeth, like, bad. Why? Yeah, I'm not big on that. Just color your face. That just reminds me. Was there a freckle option? Face decoration? Type? There was a freckle option. There we are. Freckles. Alright, got freckles. Something's missing. Her face is just a little bit too defined. Her face is off a little bit. face shape. Chin definition. Chin depth. Chin height. There we go. Alright. A bit better. 5 looks okay too. And now I think we need to do something with the cheeks. The cheekbones. Cheekbone height. Cheekbone depth. I'm not sure what it is, but the face is just very so slightly off of what I have in my head. The nose looks okay, the eyes look okay, the mouth looks okay. Something about the face shape. Is it her jaw? Maybe it's that. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. She looks fine, honestly. She really does look fine. I do need to fix up her hair length. Hair tips. Here we go. There we go. That's fine. Nah. Can't get that to look very quite right. That's okay. There's something up with her, with like her face shape. I can't put my finger on it. She still looks solid. Let me do something about her eyes though. And I'm gonna wrap this up very soon here. No. Face decoration. There we are. $26. $26. 7. 27. Confirm that the hair... Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And now body time. Height, average height. We'll give you a little bit more of a head. Neck length. I think we had that option before. I guess we'll tone it down a little bit. Shoulder width. You wish you had these options in Dark Souls. I think the default looks okay. Body size. Okay, it's just a euphemism for weight. Default looks okay. Calves thickness. Sorry, calves thickness. Okay. Thigh size. Make a little bit thick agony there, huh? I don't remember this option. I will thicken her up a little bit. There we go. Arm size, though? Just to balance her a bit. Muscle definition. Ooh, you can make her kind of scary jacked. Okay. Chest size. I dare say that's even a little bit bigger than it was in the previous game. We are going to be modest. Is agony. Body accessory. Oh. We have some more options here. That you can't really see. I can't even tell what these are tattoos of. Okay. Voice time. How's agony gonna sound? We'll go with 4. Am I making it deeper? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going the wrong direction. Okay, we'll do that. Alright, save additional features. Generate manage character creation codes. Cool. They got that in here too. Very nice. That was just like one feature that they added to Nioh that they 100% did not need to do. They absolutely never needed to make shareable character creator codes. But they did, and they're cooler for it. Actually, might as well do my character creation code now. Yes. Alright, that is my character creation code right there. WLP minus plus question mark QVTWC at SMDNA. Some of those are capitalized, some of them are not. Like to share uploaded character creation information via social media? No. Alright, so there it is, right there. Cool. It already looks decent. I hope there's cool armor in this game. Finalize. I already want to, like, play the full game. I haven't even got past the character creator. You're about to leave character creation. Do you wish to proceed? Yes. I actually just now realized I didn't, change her eye style. She's supposed to have mismatching eyes, but whatever. He's fine.
如此一来，老夫多年来的夙愿要实现了。
若是和你一起，想必圣迹尚存，请佩戴此玉石，用以护身。相信其定能助您脱离险境。不能再让他们为非作歹了。我们走吧。
Can already see how I want to change the face again. Okay. You're in the game. I start with a sword. I didn't see where that was. Dragon's Cure Pot. Okay, for Refined Key Pot heals me. Okay. Alright, I'm not pressing the touchpad to open this. This is just the start menu. Oh, the touchpad is gestures now. Okay. I think that makes sense. They really should have switched that around for Nioh. I'd consider that an improvement. Okay, game settings. Graphics, no. Menu settings. It's not under here. No. Game settings? Subtitles? Those speakers' names. Get rid of that. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Okay. Photograph. Set the scene for screenshot capturing. Nice. Check the details of titles and achievements you've received. Okay, so they also have that for some reason. That wasn't a big thing, but I guess they wanted to keep that. Check your information about your current status. Okay. Wood virtue, fire virtue, earth virtue, metal virtue, water virtue. Are those my fucking core stats? What the fuck? Undistributed virtue. Genuine key, copper, accolades. Okay. I have agility A. Proportion 8.4%. My max weight is 32, I believe. Spirit consumption rate, martial arts, wizardry spells. Deflect 94%. This is already looking very different. I have some elemental abilities. Positive, negative effects, special effects. Stone attack power. Spirit damage to enemies with chill. Inventory, Dragon's Pot Cure. I guess I'll register it as a favorite. I got the Ring Pommel Saber. What a very different looking equipment menu. I guess I do have 2 accessory slots in this game. Usable items. Okay. Not a super fan of not being able to change my quick item menu. Okay. This is... I don't know, maybe I'm just noticing some frame rate drops. This does feel a bit different, and that worries me a bit. Maybe this would actually look better with motion blur. There's a weird gauge on the screen. Oh, okay. Can do jump attacks now. What a weird attack animation. Interesting. Okay. And no, we're gonna turn that motion blur back off again. I wish there was an option to switch between, like, movie mode and, like, action mode. They had that before. I wish they still had that. I feel just very, very slightly stiffer moving around. It doesn't feel bad, but it's different. What is this? What am I doing here? I got like some, like, Yoshi air run thing. It's fucking weird. Is it a double... Can I run up walls? Can I run up walls? Can I run up trees? Dude, I can run up walls? I'm wondering how that's going to factor in. Oh, okay. Sprinting. Interesting. Okay. It's just toggle on and off, which is fine. Okay. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the frame rate is just not quite up to snuff for what I'm looking at. It's feeling just a little bit choppy right here. I'm not big on. Okay, let's go. Block. There we go. Okay. Can I interact with this? Nope. Walk very slowly while I'm blocking. Okay. Normal attacks are fast and can easily increase your spirit. Spirit attacks are slower, but deal more spirit damage, which can reduce the enemy's spirit gauge. Furthermore, when you have positive spirit, you can consume the surplus spirit to increase damage. You will also not falter during attacks and will penetrate the enemy's guard. Okay, so spirit is interesting. Okay, so you do normal attacks to build up the spirit resource, and you consume it for heavier attacks. Heavier attacks penetrate guard, which I assume enemies can do that to me too, which is kind of scary. But I mean, enemies also have spirit gauges, so, okay. Ah. jump toward a wall. Oh, R2 to loot? Genuine key flake. Oh, okay. Alright. It's got my health in the middle of the screen. That's fucking weird. Is there an enemy here? I don't know what the icons on the right side of my screen are meant to indicate. Ah. Okay. Up on the D-pad. It's weird. This is really weird. Okay. Genuine key flake. Oh, R2 does something. Does that let me switch between my weapons, I think? R2, okay. Square. Oh, it's a skill. Okay. It incurs negative key and I recover it back. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a stamina gauge, except you can build up an excessive stamina and spend it to do stuff. Interesting. Okay. Deflect. Circle right before an enemy. Right before. So deflect blocks right before an enemy attacks, but I can double tap it to dodge. That's weird. Using circle will allow you to redirect your enemy's attack. Timing this action will meet the enemy attack. Not only allows you to redirect the attack, will also lower the enemy's spirit and shrink the lower end of the enemy's spirit gauge. Shrink the lower end. I take that to mean it wait. Shrink the lower end of the enemy's spirit gauge. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay, so it's just square to block. Okay. Let's do some practice here. Hi. How you doing? This feels weird, man. They did something to the controls that I'm not super big on. It's kind of hard to explain. I can definitely change the camera acceleration too. Aim mode camera. We'll leave that as is. Your morale rank affects your combat power. Likewise, an enemy with high morale rank is more dangerous. Threat level 0 to 1 to 5. Okay. So he's a higher threat. Oh, he's got a detection bar. Okay. Okay, I think I'll turn that down. No. That up. There we go. Don't need to be able to look up and down that quickly, but I want to be able to turn faster. If I can It's unintuitive that there's a block button, but that's distinct from, like, the deflect option. Whole arm Odao. And equip a second weapon. Okay. Okay. It scales with certain elements, I guess. There we go. Horn Strike. Oh, is that the built-in skill for it? That's different. It's a self-launcher. Interesting. Okay. Oh, they glow red. You want to deflect it. An enemy will wind up to perform a critical blow, which cannot be blocked with guard. Taking damage from a critical blow will lower your morale rank by 1. If you redirect an enemy's critical blow, the power of the deflect increases, and you can significantly break the enemy's stance and recover your negative spirit. Again, borrowing very heavily from Nioh, but, you know, having it... It feels, some of the different controls feel weird. Like R2 to pick up stuff is very unnatural. Is there a custom? I want to map stuff now. Control settings. Okay, so that just switches those two things. Shift 1, Shift 2. Yeah, I feel like Shift 1 and Shift 2 should switch. Okay, C. No, D. Okay, preferring D. Yeah, we're gonna go with D. Wait, can I... Hold up. I can edit? Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't realize I could do that. Okay, we're gonna switch that and that. Is that fine? Custom. Awesome. Okay. What is even the purpose of guarding anymore? Okay, I can't just map it to different places, unfortunately. R2 Shift 2? Shift 1. Shift 1 check. That's it. Shift 1 check. Okay, let's switch these. So circle is still interact. Ah, no. Switch jump and that. All right, let's see how this feels. Okay, I just press X. Okay. Press X. I'm all glowy and ugly. I don't really like that visual effect. Okay. How come I'm not jumping? Control settings. L3 jump, yes. Why is that not jumping? Dodge, deflect, R2. Okay, R2 is my... Oh, now there's a quick button combo for quickly switching weapons. That's cool. Shaka. Alright, now it's letting me jump again. Alright, now I can press X to dodge, and press circle to pick up. Still got square, still got heavy attack. It's just R2 for my skill menu now. Where's block? Okay. Okay, this is feeling better. I'm glad this gives me that option. Oh, it's because I was holding R2. Okay. Okay, that's not so different than activating like your yokai abilities. Okay, interesting. All right. I just gotta get used to the new sprint option. Battle flag raised. Fortitude rank increased by 2, whatever that means. Deliveries. No items you can claim. Battle preparation. Battle flag customization. Why? We'll just leave that alone for now. I don't care too much about that. Level up. Oh, their take on the core stat. That's actually really interesting. Okay. So Wood Virtue affects HP and the amount of spirit lost when you're attacked. Okay, so there's basically like key damage you take. It also increases spell duration. And your resistance to Earth. Interesting. Affects the amount of spirit gained when attacking and the amount of spirit consumed by martial arts. Martial arts. Why your key advancement resource is called Genuine Key is fucking weird. This seems like it also increases your health. It seems like it all increases your health. Affects equipment weight limit and the amount of spirit gained when deflecting an attack. Affects the duration. Is that all it did? Yeah. Affects the duration that a high level of spirit can be maintained for. And the spirit consumed by wizardry spells. So this reduces spellcasting costs. Water Virtue. Affects how easily enemies can detect you. so stealth, and the amount of spirit consumed when deflecting. Also ranged weapon attack damage. They've definitely simplified the stats quite a bit. But this is not an uninteresting way of doing this. I think since I haven't seen any other equipment so far, I'll just increase Earth Virtue. Oh, I gotta press up on the D-pad. Okay. Okay. By raising a battle flag, you can raise your Fortitude rank. Okay. I still don't know what that's about. Okay. Am I pressing the wrong button to jump? Yes, I am. Okay. Heat-proof ice. Is that to run through stuff? Heat-proof ice. Dispels burn status and accumulation when used. Also increases flame resistance for a certain period. I'll use it. I run through fire. Oop, pressed the wrong button there. Oh, I died. Okay. I'm feeling weird about the combat. You lose your morale points and half of your genuine key when you are killed by an... You don't lose all of your progress? You don't lose all of your progress. You don't lose all of your progress? The morale rank of the enemy that killed you will increase. You regain your lost genuine key and morale points by defeating the same enemy. If the enemy is a boss, you will regain them by challenging them once again. However, if you die again before regaining them, the lost genuine key and morale points will disappear forever. They don't even take away all of your experience. They take away only half of your experience. And there's also some weird, like, Lord of the Rings-esque thing where enemies can steal your morale. I'm not sure how that affects them. That makes them harder or what. But instantly better than Dark Souls right away. Holy shit. Instantly better. You're gonna run through the fire here. Ow. Ow. Okay. I'm like pressing X, but it's not doing what I want it to do. Ow. I clearly used the deflect thing there. That's what I clicked. In basic training, you'll be able to practice action controls. In the battle flag menu, select travel and other... Oh, I could just go to basic training right now. No, we can do that. Travel. Sure. Your current progress will be saved? Okay. So I don't have to restart the level, basically. It's weird. They basically combined, like, burst counters with, dodging, which I don't particularly like. Alright, just camera. Yep. Hold it. Destination displayed on the sense key map in the upper right of the screen. Yep. Lock on. Yep. Hi. Alright, so switching targets. Yeah. Martial arts. Okay. Nice. Reflect. Yep. Okay. This I should practice. Okay, I'm literally pressing it. I don't know why that's really tricky. This doesn't consume anything. I can dodge all day. Deflect counterattack. Okay. Something about targeting really fixes the camera. I don't like how the camera moves when I'm locked onto somebody. It's really hard to describe, but it's like the camera is absolutely locked along this axis, and it feels more dynamic in Nioh than this. This feels really weird and different from Nioh, and I don't like it. What? What was that? Oh. Deflecting's really hard, man. I'm not sure what's going on with this. The timing's all off. I'm like way too early or way too late. It's such a narrow frame to time that, man. Deflect against an enemy's critical blow. Yeah, this is what I gotta try to do. Yeah, missed that. Okay, Fatal Strike near defenseless enemy. Nice. Okay. Check item. Okay. Did I just get a freebie? Okay. Equip 2 types of ranged weapon. Switch between them. It's circle to fire? That feels really weird. Circle to fire? That's my circle is my interact button? That would be why. I don't like that. Circle to fire, man. Whatever. The ranged weapons in Nioh were never meant to be used in mid-combat. I'm not sure what the flashing icon on my menu is supposed to be. The crossbow is like the hand cannon. They feel pretty bad, though. Wizardry spell. Circle plus square. Oh my god. That's undoable. Inflicting poison. Oh my gosh, my interact button has to be R1, otherwise this is going to be so unnatural. God damn it. Okay, now they're doing kind of like Elden Ring shit, and I'm not big on that. Okay, jump and shift check need to be swapped, unfortunately. Okay. Square. X and circle are inverted, basically. So that just looks confusing as shit. Summon divine beasts. Yeah, I'm working on stuff right now. Divine beast resonation. Okay. The controls feel weird, man. It's the button mapping is throwing me off. Once again, they introduce a jump button into the control scheme. It's an exclusive, does only jump. And now I have to have... Now it wants me to start interacting with everything with R2? No. And what do they do to fuck up the precious D-pad, man? The D-pad was great. I really don't like what they did with the D-pad. The literal UI does not map to the face buttons in the way that I've actually said it. It doesn't shift them around or anything. The X and circle buttons are swapped. So it appears that they're swapped. If I want to cast spells, I literally have to be pressing circle and the other buttons, which is dumb. Also, the spells looked pretty underwhelming, I gotta be honest. Okay, so far, here are my issues with this game. First off, they have a dedicated jump button that they don't combine with the interact button. That's really fucking annoying. I don't like that they did that. I really wish they didn't do that. Secondly, they did something with the camera involving just you turning. So, just moving around like this, like, it's fast and responsive, don't get me wrong, but for some reason, this doesn't feel as organic as it did in Nioh. This felt much more natural in Nioh. I can't explain exactly how they did it, but this feels a lot smoother in Nioh. Also, anytime you lock onto an enemy, it rigidly locks the camera specifically behind my character along the exact axis between my character and the enemy. I felt like it was much more dynamic in Nioh, where the camera would, like, focus the enemy on screen, but the camera would hover behind me, so I could, like, shift in either direction, but it doesn't seem like it's really doing that. Like, obstacle avoidance. Automatic aim assists. Maybe it's aim assists. Let's turn these features off. See if that makes a difference. I like that you can run up walls. Don't get me wrong. I can't interact with this one? Okay. Ah, finisher. Ow. What happened to, like, auto-target? What happened to auto-targeting enemies that I've defeated? Like, that's specifically an option I read in the menu settings. But it doesn't seem to be doing that. Automatically switch locked on target upon defeating target. Yes, that's what I have. Locked on target focus. Maybe that's the target focus issue I have? We'll try turning that off. Maybe that makes the camera better. Having sprint and dodge be separate is also annoying. I don't like that they did that. It was way better just having sprint and dodge be the same button. It was a universal movement option. It worked perfectly fine the way it was. Okay, so it literally does not move the camera at all if I'm targeted. That's what I'm interpreting that as. That's even worse than having a rigid camera. That's just a lock-on that does literally nothing. Still don't know what morale does. Okay. Okay, so the locked-on target focus, way too strong. But if you turn it off, it literally does nothing. Guarding resets the camera. Automatically lock to enemy when melee attacking. Locking on when no target present resets the camera. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with a lot of this stuff. Just randomly throwing flags into the ground is fucking weird. Fortitude rank increased by 6. Still don't know what that means. And travel to my last one. Okay. Can I level? I can. Something about wizardry points. Oh, you've unlocked wizardry spells. Okay. 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 So you can start with 2. Calls down a bolt of lightning on a locked-on target or on a point at a certain distance in front of you. Increase automatic recovery during low spirit and decreases automatic depletion during high spirit. Okay. Hurls more a mode of fire in front of you. That genuinely looks worse than the fireballs in Elden Ring. Emits an eruption of flame in front. Whatever. Summons rock pillars. Yeah, that looks really dumb. You receive less damage from enemies and will not flinch except from powerful attacks. That seems really good. Release a curse bolt to the front. Enemies hit will recover from spirit disruption slower for a period of time. Release bubbles of poison. Summons a sharply pointed icicle in front. The icicle will accelerate forward or toward the target you locked onto prior to casting the spell. For a certain period of time, reduces consumption of spirit when deflecting. I like this one. This basically gives me a shit ton of toughness. Okay. What am I spending to get this stuff? Oh, I can spend 1 on each. Okay. Can I not afford that? Oh, I can't afford all of this. Yeah. Do not be able to use it with your current attributes. Oh, okay. I see. So I need to have higher levels in those core stats. Got it. Okay, well, I guess I just have these to distribute eventually. Enhanced defense. Got it. Oh my god. That's really disorienting. See, I'm trying... Ah!
虽已经击败了不少敌人，
I got exhausted.
仍不能松懈。对了，将他们驱离之后，可否来韩式一趟？
The weird button mapping is totally throwing me off right now. Is that a Gaki? No, it's not. Damn it, I tried. I like that there's a button combination that just quick switches your weapons. That was like a weird thing you had to do, and unless I'm like totally mistaken, and I played that game for ages, and I had it wrong the entire time, like you basically had to do a weird button combination. Not a weird button combination, but like you had to press buttons in an unnatural sequence in order to switch from one attack to another, because like you're basically injecting like a weapon switch commands into an attack combo chain, which did not feel supernatural. Okay, so this reducing my resistances, that's better stats overall. It also increases my resistance to earth by quite a bit. It seems better. Alright, well. I'm not big on this weapon.
您将来必成大业。
Uh-oh. Ow. It's not super obvious when you die. Like, there's not a whole lot of audio feedback that I just, like, got. That makes sense? Here, let's practice. No, get over here. Get over here. Come on. Come on. Dude, attack me. See, it doesn't automatically target the next enemy, even though I clearly have that setting enabled. All these burst attacks are guaranteed deaths at this point, which does not make it easy to practice these weird new controls, and I must say, counterintuitive controls. I like that I can chain, like, skills and stuff together like that. Dude, I'm trying to deflect. Oh my god. I can't even practice because this guy will, like, aggro the enemies too. It's annoying. So I got an AI partner who's aggroing the enemies, so I can't even practice, like, the whole deflection thing. This is not designed all that well. That hurts. I like to press down on the D-pad. My spirit's like at an all-time negative, so I'm not really accomplishing anything right now. It takes forever to recover it. I swear, if this was actually just one-to-one Nioh controls, I would not be having any issues right now. There is no way these guys would be killing me like this if this was the exact same control scheme I had in Nioh. What makes this especially frustrating is that, like, I have a deflection mechanic, right? They're emphasizing so strongly the deflection mechanic, and it's going to be, like, one of my main face buttons to use this, right? Like, this. This is my dodge now. This is what they want me to use anytime I'm about to get hit. They want me to be deflecting attacks like this is, like, Arkham City or some shit. But it doesn't auto-target the next enemy consistently. It, like, seems like it's doing it maybe a quarter, maybe a third of the time, but I just seem to keep dropping targeting on enemies after I've defeated them, even if there's another person on screen. That's really fucking with me. And now I just get fucking insta-killed. I need to be able to practice this, man. I even went to the training grounds, and you're still doing this? Wooden poled spear. Is that better than this? Does less damage. Deflect difficulty. Deflect difficulty? But that's just my status, right? Yeah, that's just spirit consumption. That's not like my deflection window. If it was deflection window, that'd be a whole nother thing. Okay, that That martial art with the spear is honestly terrible. It just leaves me wildly open while I'm just spinning it. So, unfortunately, I'm going to switch back once again to the sword. God damn, man. Oh, hi. What does the flag thing do? Is that... I literally pressed X there. Is the flag a checkpoint? Will that just spawn me right there? No, it will not. I don't understand the point of the flags. This is going by, like, almost a little bit too fast. Like, I like fast combat, but it's like, we're just kind of whipping around. And it's... I'm still not altogether clear, like, what's going on a lot of the time. Like, this jump feels very heavy, if you know what I mean. It feels like... It feels like I fall just a little bit too fast. We're already, like, doing, like, crazy, like, 5-6 hit combo stuff. I dodge very, very, very fast right out of the gate. But it's also already happened a few times where I'm trying to deflect an attack and I just dodge instead. Like, I'm trying to, like, mash for the timing, but I can't do that because I'll dodge. And then if I dodge, I might actually just end up dying. Guy has a high morale. I pressed deflect. I recognize the threat. He had a high morale, but... Something that's just also bothering me is that I am so used to this point. I'm like 1,000 hours worth of habit into dodging to, like, make distance, right? But I can't do that in this game because I basically have to double tap to do this. And for one thing, it kind of fixes the camera. For another, it feels really unnatural. To be clear, it wasn't even a dodge. Like, in Nioh, there was a distinction between dodging and dashing. Like, what I was doing to get around was, like, dashing. It was, like, a longer version of this. But obviously, I can't use this for navigation. This isn't practical. So now I'm like, I gotta be clicking left stick constantly in order to make distance with the enemies? It's weird. I still don't know what morale does. Putting a lot of emphasis on morale, and you haven't explained it yet. Who even am I fighting right now? I can't just, like... I don't feel like I can just, like, dodge away and heal. And pressing up on the D-pad feels so unnatural for a heal. Once again, I tried to deflect there. I wasn't auto-targeted, despite my settings. And it didn't deflect, I dodged instead. Target, my guy. It's like the camera's trying to, like, catch up to that axis I was talking about. Okay. No heals. Okay. Ish. It's a lot better defense. Unfortunately. Am I just always gonna have, like, that glowing thing on me, like the dagger from Nioh? I haven't even been looking at the special effects. Deflect spirit consumption, positive effect duration, receive damage while attacking. That increases my equipment weight significantly. Oh, it's blue. It's rare. Spirit defense. Looks really dumb. But for lack of anything else. Pommel saber. I'm feeling pretty mixed about this. Pretty mixed. Great danger ahead. Alright, well, let's level. I got some of those, Genuine key fragments. Genuine key flakes. Dragon's Cure Pot. Spirit lost when attacked. Like spirits consumed by martial arts. Reducing spirit consumption for martial arts would probably be good overall. This would also keep me from running out of spirit faster. I gain it faster and I lose it slower. That seems good. What's that icon showing up in the middle? What's that about? This also increases my melee weapon damage, so let's just put our points into this. And a wizardry spell. Okay. Oh, I run a key fast for that. Interact. Come on. Dangerous fight. Boss fight, alright. Alright, let's see. Who's our first boss fight in the game? Ow. I have a feeling that this game is, like, kind of trying to ape Sekiro in some way. But I never played Sekiro, so I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do. Or, like, what system they're trying to emulate. Come on. I'm taking damage while I'm dodging. Do I even have iframes? I'm taking damage by dodging. I kind of don't like that they gave me a super armor ability right out of the gate. Because then it feels like I gotta, like, spend resource to abuse it. I wouldn't be trying to deflect everything if the game wasn't so insistent that I do that. Maybe I gotta be trying to block everything but those attacks. Oh, fuck. Dude, this guy just fucking goes through everything I got. I was stun locked. I can kind of bully up on this guy. I just gotta, like, get in the position to do so. Basically, I gotta attack him when he's not already in, like, an attack combo. Ow. I keep trying to press X to make distance, and it doesn't work that way. Okay, so something that keeps fucking me over is that I'm attacking, I'm attacking until the point where I basically push him away from me, and then there's like 2, 3 some meters distance between him and me to where, like, my basic attacks are not gonna do anything. And this isn't actually like Arkham City, where a basic attack will basically, like, magnetize you across the map directly to him. So my impulse, just like in Nioh, is to press X to dodge a short distance to him. Just do, like, a short hop dash right into his face, and then continue to combo. I can't do that, though. My dodges are all, like, fixed distance dodges. Well, that's just... They are dodges. They're not dashes. I can't do short dashes. It's always a fixed distance dodge. And I have to double tap it. And it gets muddled up with the deflection button. So it's like I'm wanting to dodge to make distance, but instead I'm basically like doing a full recovery animation in his face. And I'm having to sprint way more than I normally would. And again, I press deflect there. Press deflect again. Doesn't help that he can basically jump the whole arena towards me, too. Ah, damn, I didn't do the finisher on him. Didn't realize I even had that opportunity. I just did it again. I tried to dash into him. There I tried to deflect, and instead it dodged. And I do not have invincibility frames when I dodge, apparently, so I just got hit. It seems like a big part of actually, like, getting somewhere is that you basically just gotta attack into their block. Whereas, it's apparent in Nioh that if you wanted to accomplish something against a blocking enemy, you had to... You weren't basically just, like, attacking a wall and getting resource back. Like, you wouldn't attack someone who is blocking and be getting key back. There you go. There we go.
可恶！世间竟有此等高手！我乃是人工将军大贤良师张角之弟，绝不能辜负兄长对我的信任。
Am I fighting Godfrey the Grafted all over again? What the fuck? Okay, I got 2 heals. Oh, cool. Okay, he doesn't get staggered, which kind of breaks the way I was dealing with this before. Got no heals now. I pressed deflect. I literally stood there and pressed X as his attack was coming at me. And it still hit me. They seriously just threw, like, the first Elden Ring boss at me. First, quote-unquote. Gotta fight both phases again. Are we seriously starting the game off on that bad of a step? It's fucking rough, dude. Oh my god. See, here he actually staggers. I'm not exactly sure what I need to do in order to... You see how much trouble I'm having just closing distance with him? And he stun-locked me with one of those attacks, and then immediately two-shot me. I'm definitely leaning towards disappointed with this game so far, which A, I'm not super surprised about, but B, I mean, I feel like we're kind of backstepping a bit. Not just, like, changing, like, the core stats and stuff like that, but I mean, like, basic shit that you got right about the controls and made that felt really good to play, you've convoluted with, like, your new button mapping scheme and your decision to make certain dedicated buttons, like jump, and then having the check option be also the shift option. So, like, I have to have this be the same thing. That was never the same thing in Nioh. I never had to do that before. Also, I was able to put my fucking heal on any part of the D-pad, not just up. And I never used my healing items in the up position in Nioh. I always had it on D-pad down. I never had it on D-pad up before. And where previously I had a choice of assigning it to one of the 4 D-pad directions, now you're forcing me to do it on up. Why? That is not helpful. Like, one of those burst attacks... Dude, I'm literally stuck on a tree I can't even see. It's not even a tree, it's a boulder. Some weird-shaped boulder. I'm, like, trying to back up, and I can't even see why I'm not backing up. That's kind of a big issue to me. If I'm trying to avoid something and getting killed, but, like, the actual assets in the environment aren't even loading in for me to see what the thing is that's obstructing my movement, Then it just seems like the game's just killing me for no reason. Again, I pressed X. Oh, that does a lot of damage. Holy shit. God damn it. Oh, God. Now I'm getting the bad feelings. Oh, no. I already feel that I'm developing some very, very concerning opinions about this game. Let me beat this guy. Then I'll share. I don't even know how I countered that. Dude, the finishers do so much damage. I fucking dodged, man. You can't even credit me for that. I fucking dodged that too. You won't credit me for that either. Come on, let me break ya. There you go. Get fucked. Alright, how do we do this guy? This guy does not stagger at all. Do I have to, like, block? I'm sorry, am I taking damage if I block? No. Dude, this guy is attacking, like... Nautaka. He legit has, like, canned animations that look exactly like Maguro Nautaka. What the hell? Like, does that not exactly look like Maguro Nautaka's attack moves? Dude, he was glowing. I pressed X. I pressed X. I did almost nothing to his health bar. Suddenly we get to an enemy that just does not stagger, and this just feels suddenly very hopeless. And this is not a scripted loss. What am I supposed to do? We're the shitty heavier armor? I guess. That does noticeably less damage. So that's something. Dude, I'm pressing fucking triangle. I only have 3 heals for 2 whole boss fights, my guy. And I'm a... Dude. I'll be mid-combo attacking him, and he'll activate the burst attack thing. I'll press X, it won't deflect, and he'll knock me back. I slide backwards, and while I'm recovering from stun, I'm mashing X so that I can get a deflect off at the earliest possible opportunity, just as if I were to block, or just as if I were to dodge in any other context. But because I double-click X, I dodge, I don't have invincibility frames, he follows up with a second burst attack, and that two-shots me. I do not like the deflection system in this game. I just do not like it. Burst counters are fine. Burst counters are perfectly fine. They worked great in Nioh. Putting deflect and dodge on the same button and having that be separate from a dedicated sprint button and a dedicated jump button was a huge mistake. I don't know how I did what I just did. See, he dodges away from me, and then I push him away when I do my attack. I need to clear so much distance just to get a heal off. And now I'm stun locked. If I wasn't wearing this armor, I would have been dead a while ago. I did not feel this put out going up against I did not feel this put out going up against Gazuki or even Mezuki, and Mezuki is 360ing all the time as part of his combos. Mizuki will just straight up do 360s as part of like 3, 4, 5 hit combos. And that felt more reasonable than this. It's seriously because of the controls. I feel like this would be so much easier, if there was a wider... if there was a wider default acceptable deflection window, and B, if I've remapped the controls as best I can, but as you can see, just like in Elden Ring, like, they will conflict with each other. They will, like, I can't simply map different face buttons without that completely breaking the intuitiveness of being able to cast a spell. Because if I switch Shift 1 to any of the face buttons, well, guess what? That's the button I have to hold in addition to casting any of my spells that are also going to be displayed as though they are the face buttons. Like, just full stop. Let's just switch jump and Shift 1. Okay. Now, circle. Now look at that. Bottom right corner of the screen. I'm holding the circle button. And it looks like I'm pressing what should be, what it's saying is the X button. Below that is R1. And then somehow I'm supposed to press circle square at the same time, or circle triangle at the same time, which is nowhere near as convenient as R1 and any of those face buttons. So even if it makes the most sense to do exactly what Nioh did, just map the controls exactly as Nioh had them, where I interact with something by pressing circle. Well, I can't do that now because now that fucks up the magic system. And that is entirely, this is entirely because they put shift and interact to the same button. They put dodge and deflect to the same button. They put jump to a dedicated button, and then they put run to its own dedicated button too. So they've combined buttons that shouldn't be together, and they've separated buttons that should be together. I did not expect to have this same sort of issue. That's not what I had, sorry. I did not expect to have the same sort of controller issue as I did with Elden Ring. I 100% did not expect that. That was beyond the realm of my consideration. They had gotten it so right in Nioh 2. Nioh 1 and Nioh 2. They gotten it so right, and they just decide, you know what? The interact button is going to be R2 now. No. Don't ever do that. My thumb is always on the face buttons. Let me interact with the face buttons. But no, I can't do that now, because now whatever face button it is, I have to hold that, and that's now a combination button. With what now? It's now a combination button. It's the face button to modify my fucking ammo types, my weapon type. It is the button to to combo with my spells. That can't be one of my face buttons. If it's a modifier, that should be a shoulder button. Or if it's a gun, right? That should be a shoulder button. But that's not what we're doing. This is a whole lot of yikes, man. This is a whole lot of yikes. I'm not happy with how this has turned out so far. Cup of cordiality. Is that like in a choco cup? I already don't want to fight this boss, man. I'm already tired of this boss. I already want to stop playing. Nioh already treaded a fine line with what it was trying to do. Dude, I will always dodge that second thing, and it will always hit me. Does that not look like I perfectly dodged that attack? I don't know how I do this boss, dude. I don't know how I beat him. He doesn't stagger. He doesn't stagger. It's my one heal. Do I just gotta survive for a period of time? Somehow I doubt it. And I'm already dead. To the exact same attack that's killed me 2 other times. I swear every single time he does that, I'm hitting X. And if by hitting I mean plural, then why should that be dodging me? Why should that be canceling out the specific thing I'm trying to fucking do? If I hit it and I time it wrong, that's one thing. But if I hit it and I dodge and that makes me exposed, that's stupid. I see, I dodged that time, but somehow I took damage that time. Dude, stop fucking chain hitting me. This is bullshit. Notice how the camera, like, lags behind me? See, I dodged that time. He's like actually stunning me. It's seriously just the controls, man. I did not put 1,000 hours into Nioh 2 to not be able to handle a fight like this. But the controls are just fucked. I can't do the controls. It'd be one thing, like... Magura Naotaka, right? Magura Naotaka shares a bunch of the same moves as the second form of this guy. Magura Naotaka doesn't fucking stagger either. You run up to him, you poke him a bit, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't give a shit. He's just gonna keep fucking swirling snow your ass. All day, every day. But you can dodge it. You can quick step to close the distance so you can capitalize on the small windows of opportunity you have to do damage against him. That's not obfuscated by a deflection command. Part of your button scheme is not also obstructed by a dedicated jump, and your face buttons aren't one of your key shortcut buttons is not simultaneously married to a dedicated interact command. I have serious issues with this. I have serious issues with this in much the same way as I have serious issues with Elden Ring's controls. I'm not happy I'm really, really not happy. And I have no idea what happened to my ranged stuff. Was that just tutorial weapons they took back away from me? I still don't know what morale rank is. Do I take 2 of these and suddenly my DPS is insane or some shit? The game has not explained to me what morale even does. All they've said is I have a morale rank. When I die, I lose it. And the enemy gains it. And the enemy scales relative to it. Look at that. That's what they did to the precious shortcut button, man. That's what they did to my fucking D-pad, man. They fucking hurt my baby, man. They took my baby out back and shot it in the face. They made a dumpster baby of my shortcut D-pad. I had access to 16 items before. Now I have access to a grand total of 7. And I have to cycle through each of them individually. They drop from 16 to 7, and I have to cycle through them individually. That is so bad. Down on the D-pad literally doesn't even do anything. It's not even mentioned on the maps, on the controlled mapping scheme. Well, let's see what this does. Oh shit, yeah, that fucks me up a bit. See what kind of difference this makes. I pressed X. I'm not noticing a difference with morale. It doesn't feel like it's done anything. It literally just feels like I just handicap myself because now my shit just does not recover. I'm just constantly just losing ki. You see the camera just lagging to keep up with me? I will be right back. Okay. We're in Nioh 2. I'm in low stance with an Odachi. I tried pulling up a fight with Magara no Taka, but it's kind of especially difficult to just pull up a fight of Magara no Taka that isn't either way too easy at my current level or going to absolutely crush me if I don't have all of my equipment on. So I'm here in Dojo because everything scales to you in Dojo. So let's just demonstrate a little bit. So the boss is kind of a big, slow, brutish guy like this, although he can attack pretty fast. And I can attack pretty quickly too. Look how quickly I can dodge. Granted, this is a little bit faster, very slightly faster because of my build. But notice that it's not like every dodge isn't just a full dodge, right? Every dodge isn't like a complete roll. Like twice the distance of this, right? I can also do quick steps. I can clear distance to him very quickly. I can run with X. I can step with X. I can dodge with X. It's actually not communicating the dodge very well. There we go. I have to be in mid-stance for it to do that. Okay, so just imagine I don't attack quite as fast in this. So just imagine, for sake of comparison, that I can attack basically this fast. But every time I dodge, I'm basically always doing one of these. I'm always doing one of these. I don't have the choice to, like, quick step. More or less, notice how I can shift to either side of the screen, and the camera very gently keeps him centered, but it doesn't, like, lock the camera over my shoulder the entire time. Like, it feels like a very natural observing camera. It's not it's not fixated to the axis that is connecting me and the enemy I'm targeted to. Let's even spawn some other enemies. Okay, he's dead. Did not automatically retarget the next guy, unfortunately. This guy doesn't stagger easily. But notice I was able to dodge out of that. I don't have burst counter mapped to my dodge. I don't have sprint mapped to my dodge. I have quick step, which is something you basically entirely removed from Wolong. Quick step is so useful to get around, but now I'm like, now it's as though, like, I need to clear distance. If I need to clear distance, I need to be able to, like, step. Like, if you're at that distance, I gotta keep attacking until I eventually get to you. That, or I might be this close, and I gotta full dodge in order to get towards you. Like, is it really convenient that I keep doing that every single time I try to get towards you? I don't want to do this to try to always get to the enemy. If I want to clear this distance and I have to do that every single time, that's gonna suck. But that's what it feels like. Every single time, it's a full dodge roll. Every single time. And again, this wouldn't be an issue if there was the simple existence of a quick step like this. If there was dashing. I use dashing so fucking much in Nioh, man. I use this so fucking much, and it's just not in Wo Long. Also, you know, the point of, like, blocking damage isn't convoluted. In this game, you can dodge an attack, you can block an attack, but now in Wo Long, it's like, you can full dodge it, which will give you no iframes. You can, like, burst counter it, but you have to have perfect timing, or... I forgot I even had that equipped. Or you can, like, block it. I had no idea I could do that until this very second. What the fuck skill is that? What the fuck? Bolting Boar. I swear I thought that was like a human-only ability. Try that again, come on. I swear I thought I could only do that against humans. I had no idea I could do this until this very second. Now I'm mesmerized by the fact that I can do this against yokai. Granted, it probably only works against him because he's kind of like a humanoid yokai. But still. That's not to say, like, these guys can't do, like, a shit ton of damage to me or anything, obviously. Oh my god. I gotta say, that's another thing. There's way more audio feedback that I'm actually accomplishing something. So many times in that one fucking boss fight, I am getting hits when I'm dodging. Like, it does the full dodge animation, but I'm still taking, like, damage from being hit mid-dodge, but it doesn't stagger me. A 1,000 hours into this game, and I'm still learning new things about it. Holy fuck. Okay. So, anyway. Like, when I press R1, R1 is my modifier, right? R1 is my modifier for so many things. Every corner of the screen, except, like, the mini-map, has something I can do with R1. And this should also go to my criticism of the button mapping in Elden Ring 2. From R1, as long as I'm holding it, I can switch my Guardian Spirit. I can cycle through my different item shortcuts. I can low stance, medium stance, high stance, sheath, unsheath, switch weapons, switch ranged weapons. I can do all of that with R1. I can do all of that with R1. By the way, the reason why I feel like they did something fucked with the controls, not that, like, I'm, like, less responsive in that game. You're actually quite responsive, but it's as though he has, like, no momentum. So you're very skatey in Wo Long. You're very skatey in Wo Long. You can see when I move in a direction and I do, like, a 180, like, I step a little bit. It's like the difference between Super Mario Brothers and games that are and just platformers that just do not have a concept of momentum in them. Like, when you stop Mario and you turn him around, he's just going to slide against the environments around. But, on the contrary, I said he feels skatey. It's kind of a bad way of describing it. Like, I'm sliding because I have momentum. Your character has to turn around a little bit. And I can also tell that when I'm moving like this, like, my center of gravity is, like, underneath my arm, right? It's underneath my arm because I'm leaning forward, and my center of gravity... I feel like that's where I'm turning. When I'm turning, it's underneath my character's chest. That's where I feel like I'm turning. But in the other game, it's like the center of gravity is beneath my feet at all times. And then you don't have this concept of momentum when you're turning around. Which is also something that I notice as compared to, like, the Ezio trilogy of Assassin's Creed games, and then the later, shittier Assassin's Creed games. They had so many layers of complexity, and I'm not just trying to trump up, like, complex controls being, like, de facto necessarily a good thing, but I mean, like, there was so much more depth to, like, the nuance to what you could do with the controls in, like, Assassin's Creed 2, as opposed to Assassin's Creed Rogue. In Assassin's Creed Rogue, you had, like, high-profile actions, low-profile actions. It was two-gear diarrhea, as the angry video game nerd would put it. But in Assassin's Creed, you not only could run... You could not only run, but you could be moving slowly, you could be moving fast, and that would be conditional modifiers like R1, just like R1 here. That was a conditional modifier for whether or not you were using the high profile button or the low profile button. So for instance, if you were moving slowly and you had the low profile button option, your character would just glide past other people and they wouldn't disturb them. If you were running and you were holding the low profile button, you would be moving more quickly, you would draw more attention to yourself, but you still wouldn't disturb the crowd around you. But if you're pressing the high profile button, you're full out sprinting, and you can just bowl over other people in the streets. It got rid of that shit for the later games. And it's kind of like that, what they did with Wo Long, but at the same time, Wo Long adds buttons to the game. They have a dedicated jump. They have a dedicated jump. They have a dedicated sprint. Sprint is now mapped to, like, the control stick. That would be fine if not for the fact that this game is trying so hard to be like Nioh, like clearly reusing multiple assets, boss animations, like literal hairstyles in the game are taken verbatim from Nioh 2 and put into that game. And yet the interact button isn't circle, it's R2. And you don't run with X, you run by toggling it with left stick now. And in fact, the dodge button isn't just dodge, it's a deflect button. And so instead of single tapping to dash, you must now double tap to make distance, and then single tapping is basically just blocking. It's just blocking at the right time for a burst attack. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think they really screwed up the controls. I think they really screwed them up. And this was, what, for the sake of being able to do some very, very lowbrow, like, wall running and shit? Like, okay, your character can, like, double jump up a small, like, shoulder-high cliff. Oh boy. What innovation. While at the same time, like, it feels cheaper, it feels tackier. I was worried about Wo Long because, not just about any of the stuff I mentioned before, but because when I first heard about it, it's like, God, like, Nioh 2's been out for like 2 years, and they were like doing expansion content for at least one of those years. And this whole since release, if they started Wo Long the second Nioh 2 dropped the first time, they literally put that game out in 2 years. It was 2017 when the first Nioh came out. So, this is like 4 or 5 year time span for this game, and then they shat this one out in 2 years. But then I read like, oh no, it's been like 2 years in development even before that. It doesn't feel like it, man. It doesn't feel like it. This game feels way more intuitive. And I again, I don't want to like come off as if I'm kind of like cheating the example a little bit because, oh, I've got, but Omni, you have agility double A equipped because you have the ultimate constitution shit. I'll just take it off then. This still feels so much better. I can quick step. I can dash. I can dash just by doing one click of the run button. But again, it's not the run button anymore. It's a full dodge. And instead of quick stepping, so you can close distance with enemies, it's just... It's this, or it's this. Sorry. Bad example. Let me try that again. It's this, or it's this. You're either making this distance to get to an enemy, or you're doing that. This distance, or that. This distance, or that. There's no, like, alternative. There's no quick backstep. Default backstep, dude. Neutral backstep. I don't even press anything on the control stick, and your character automatically takes an emergency step back. That is so big, dude. That's not in Wo Long. Are you kidding me? Now, I do appreciate that it seems like they really want you to go ham on the skills. In this game, all attacking consumes your ki. And then it's your ki that you're also spending to do your skills. So there's a bit of downtime in the game, right? There's a bit of downtime in which you're either having to like wait a little bit so you can recover, so you can get back in there and do more damage again. Maybe they just wanted to avoid that downtime by making it so your basic attacks basically functionally gain you ki, and then you trade that ki in for your special attacks. Maybe that's what they wanted to do. I can see that. I can appreciate that being a thing. And you know, at the best of times, it seems really fun. But then in the middle of that combat system, I'm having targeting issues where I have a literal setting set to enable in the menu that says auto-target another enemy. If there's an enemy right here in front of me, and there's another enemy right here next to him, and I kill this guy, and this guy's just like slightly behind me, he doesn't get targeted. He doesn't automatically get targeted, and my camera doesn't like swivel to that direction, so I can boop, burst attack, counter attack, deflect, which is so important now. I can't just deflect that attack so easily. That's really frustrating. And the window is so small. Like, there's already a small window to, like, dodge stuff. But it's as though they took away the invincibility frames of your dodge, and then they crammed those invincibility frames into, like, a very quick counterattack window. To, like, a fighting game. As though it were a fighting game. Fighting game, your character... Some fighting games have pretty generous, like, counterattack windows where they'll go, like, boom, they'll glow red, and they'll be like, you want to hit me now, don't you? And the other person's on the other side of the screen just waiting you out. Or maybe you spend, like, an entire meter just going, boom, and your character and the other player just stands there and waiting for you to return to neutral so they can punish your ass for half your health bar and win the game or some shit. But then other games are like, eh. And then if you get hit in that like that split amount of time, you get hit for like a half of your health bar. Counterattack, 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 counterattack. Get fucked. Hakumen's kind of like that in BlazBlue. I don't know. I'm just trying to articulate how I'm feeling about this, because obviously there's stuff to like in the game. I'm not big on what they did with the UI. The UI honestly just looks tackier. I don't mind that they had a whole new take on core stats. The core stats in this game are super basic. You look at this and it's like, oh, it's like a D&D game, right? There's lots of stats to look at. Crazy amount of stats to look at. There's an entire separate menu of additional stats to look at. And then I'm sure the lists of shit that's affecting you does not get as insanely lengthy as this. And undoubtedly, I'm gonna say undoubtedly, they do manage to accomplish one thing, which is a criticism I do have with Nioh 2, which is that there's probably significantly less inventory management in Wolong. If an inventory management really bummed you out, I mean, Wolong's probably, a much better alternative to that. There's a lot of Nioh 2 of me just sifting through my fucking loot, choosing what to sell, choosing what to keep, choosing what to disassemble, choosing what to sell, choosing what to soul fuse, all that shit that I just didn't record because it's boring. It's just fucking about in menus. Something you really shouldn't have to do. But it's something that came as a consequence of them adding so much stuff you're able to customize and so many variables that you can attach to your character. My guy right here is just a laundry list of stat changes and buffs and conditional buffs and other shit like that. So they've simplified things a bit, and I don't mind that they simplified things a bit. I don't mind that... Actually, I take that back. I do mind that they got rid of stances. But as I was playing it, my overwhelming feeling was not, oh god, I wish I could stance right now. I wish I could shift to like high stance or low stance or something like that. I'm sure the overall goal of that game is to be very fast, combo-oriented. You're the wuxia hero type of character who's just going ham on everybody, interweaving spells and shit if your attacks and whatnot. I'm sure that's ultimately the goal of any endgame build. Not to say that all endgame builds are the same, but that they don't necessarily favor the kind of extremes that Nioh does. Whereas I can be a heavy stance, slow attacking, Odachi guy, like that. Or I can be some... Not that last part, but you get what I mean, right? I wasn't really feeling hurt for the stances. My key distraction is just how they've messed with the buttons. If it was a simple thing where I had a completely reasonable button scheme and there was just a very small window for you to counter attack certain moves, then I'd be busy just trying to nail down the timing. That's where I would be right now. I think I would be comfortably retrying the boss again and again, just trying to nail down that timing. And then after a while, it's like you know exactly what the timing has to be for those kinds of attacks. Or it probably varies depending on enemy too, but you'd understand how much time it would take to deflect. And unfortunately, that's also something I noticed is that, I know I'm rambling right now, but, this, not that, sorry. This blocking, it's like, I have the axe coming down at my head, and I'm clicking it. I'm clicking in the moment, right? Click, 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 click. But it's as though the game needs to register this full animation before it registers the deflect. Right? If it doesn't register this full animation click, you see that? If it doesn't register this full animation click, it's as though it does not want to register the deflect. So, I'm not sure if it's just like it did not want to cancel me out of my attack combo, which, you know, I can kind of understand that to a degree. That's actually something, ironically, I might credit Nioh with, is that key pulsing basically gives you a built-in way to cancel out of an attack combo and move into something else. It's not as good as Demon Dance with Tonfas, but if the button mapping didn't kill me, man. If the button mapping didn't kill me. I wish sprint was with dodge. I wish dodging also gave me dashing. I wish interact wasn't mapped to R2. I wish I could map my interact button to a face button without it fucking up the intuitive layout of my spells. Like, I map it to circle because that's literally the button you've been using in Nioh 2. And then it's like, all of a sudden, if I want to change my, you know, weapons things, if I want to change my stances, suddenly, can I even change my controls like that in this game? No, I can't. I can't even change my default controls in Nioh 2. I could change that. I didn't even know I could change that. This is type A. The default button layout just made so much sense. It just made so much sense. But no, if I want interact to be the circle button like I'm used to, or dare I say if I want X to be the circle button like I'm used to, well, now, anytime I aim a weapon, I have to press a face button to fire it. I can't even R2 like I'm used to. You tied the shortcut button to the interact button. That's a fuck up. You gave jump its dedicated button. That's a fuck up. You made sprint its dedicated toggle button, which on L3 would be fine, but then you discouple it from the dodge button, and that also gets rid of quick step. Or should I say dash. That's a fuck up. You can't let me remap it. It doesn't intuitively realign the face buttons. Like, what is even the point of remapping my controls if it's gonna end up like that, man? It's like you programmed remappable controls into the game, and it's as though it doesn't even matter. At best, I switch X and circle, and then all of a sudden, whenever I want to switch stances, oh, and now I sheath by pressing X. Or I low stance by pressing circle. And then that's just going to permanently fuck up my fucking playstyle for the rest of the game. Suddenly mid-stancing with square, high-stancing with triangle, and then going to circle for low stance for some reason? Man. So, here is my very upsetting opinion that I've come to so far. And it's not just that it's worse than Nioh, which it is, sadly. There are one or two very minor things that they did that I would comfortably call an improvement over Nioh. And again, this is bearing in mind I have not even beaten the first boss of the game, but going purely on controls, gameplay loop, how fun it is to play, how comfortable and natural it is to move around, close distance, get attacks in, counterattack, dodge, all that shit, without giving me some convoluted, shitty Elden Ring style control scheme. It's not just that it's worse than Nioh, but playing through it, it makes me want to go back to playing Elden Ring. And I've been bitching about Elden Ring for 40 hours now. Elden Ring, as I said, is just hold up a shield and you poke something until it dies. You run up, hold up your shield so you don't take damage, and then you basically just stab them in the Achilles over and over again until their health bar turns to 0. And then you get the cutscene and you get a shitty reward in return. And you get a great rune that you gotta go to a tower that you need to restore, and then it does nothing. All that shit. I'd rather be playing that because it actually feels better just to do that. It feels better just to do that basic fucking control scheme. It felt better to accidentally jump in the air and be slaughtered mid-combo through no fault of my own. Because at least the controls were feeling responsive. You know? At least until it decides, you know, every other time not to register my blocks. But you get the point. Infinitely similar game. Infinitely simpler game. But at least does that without, like, jarring me with weird frame rate drops, without really hurting me in the targeting department. Okay, the targeting sucks too. It's too much like Elden Ring. It's too much like Elden Ring that it's making me just want to play Elden Ring. Because I'm already 40 hours invested into that stupid piece of shit game. Worse than Nioh. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy Wolong. I'm sorry. I was optimistic. I was genuinely optimistic for the game. That's why I downloaded the demo. I literally went to GameStop to pre-order it, and they wouldn't let me because it's over pre-ordered. But no, I'm not going to be playing Wolong, unfortunately. It's that is not a game I can foresee myself being satisfied playing with those controls for 1,000 hours. And that's it. All I have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.